Hey guys, what's going on? Space Cowboy here. Welcome back to the channel. I am back from my hiatus. I was extremely ill. If I tried to record anything, it would not have been good. But here I am. I'm back. OTAs are in full effect for the Dallas Cowboys, and a couple things to talk about. Now, in this video, I'm not talking about what's going on in OTAs. The reason I'm not super high on OTAs is because they're just practices, right? And I really wait until training camp for things to really start heating up, because that's when things really start to kind of come together, right? So to get things started, I felt like with our post-draft, the season schedule's out, and I already talked about the season schedule, I'm not going back on that. I wanted to talk about the expectations for the Dallas Cowboys in 2021. What do I want to see for us to think that this is a successful season? Now, to start things off, if you don't win the Super Bowl, it's not a real successful season, right? I get that whole factor. I'm really looking at it in the sense of Mike McCarthy is building his football program here. You know, we saw what happened last year. People got hurt. They managed to salvage the season, if you think of it that way, winning 6 games and kind of trying to make something of it. Cool. But now we're going into year 2 of this Mike McCarthy project, and we need to really think to ourselves, what exactly are the Cowboys going to do this year that would say to us, hey, they're on the right track? Now, to start off, the expectation is this: get into the playoffs and, more importantly, win the division and win a playoff game. But obviously, you got to take steps to get there. The first part is winning the division, right? And I think Dallas is capable of doing that. Going down the list from, basically position by position. My expectations for Dak Prescott is he's going to have a Pro Bowl caliber season. I think he's going to win Comeback Player of the Year. I think he's a lock to win it, assuming that things go well. And as long as he's upright, the Cowboys are the best team in the division, and that is no stretch of the imagination. You can have all these Philly Eagle fans, these New York Giant fans, these Washington football team fans come in here, and they can give some points, but I'm sorry. If Dak Prescott's upright and the Cowboys' offense is clicking, I think it's going to be tough to see them not make the playoffs this year. And I know what some of you might say, but Space, the defense for the Cowboys is terrible, and I'm going to get to that momentarily. First, the expectation for Dak is a Pro Bowl caliber season. I think he's going to come back. He's going to get to the Pro Bowl. He's going to win Comeback Player of the Year, like I said. I'm not going to give statistics. No, I'm not looking. I mean, if you were to tell me what I'm looking at, probably about 3 to 4, maybe 4 to 5,000 yards, and give or take 28 to 30 touchdowns more plus. I don't know. It really, I'm not into the whole full on, like, I feel like this is what I'm going to see him do. He's going to do what he's got to do. We go to Zeke, running back, committee type of thing. You have Tony Pollard, cool. So the way I look at it is that the Cowboys have a dynamic duo at running back. Is Zeke washed up? No. I think that if Zeke continues to trend downward, or rather, like, he starts to show that, you're going to end up having the conversation of what do you do with him in a couple years. But right now, I got to give him the benefit of the doubt. Look, he had a season. Sure, he did not have the greatest season of his career, but I will say, given the circumstances, I do believe that Ezekiel Elliott will be, he'll have a better statistical season, okay? As for Tony Pollard, I'm hoping they use him more. I think that he can help give some juice to this running game, and we saw it last year. I think that if they can give him the touches, he's going to definitely do what he's got to do. Getting to this wide receiving core, the Cowboys have hands down the best, or one of the best, wide receiving cores in the league, with Cooper, Gallup, and Lamb, and then you have guys like Cedric Wilson and Noah Brown, and then you also have Simi Fehoko. I think that's how you pronounce his last name. I could be wrong. I think the Cowboys really have a very damn good receiving room for Dak Prescott to work with, okay? And I expect them all to eat this year. As for tight ends, I'm not expecting much. I really don't care. They're good enough to get the job done. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say on that. But we do need to see Blake Jarwin do well this year. You know, we gave him the new contract, so we need to hope that, you know, if he stays upright, he's worth that money, which I think he'll be fine. Moving on to the offensive line. This is the coup de grace of the entire Dallas Cowboys season, and more specifically, you know, you could argue that's the defense, but more importantly, Dak has to stay upright, right? And we need to make sure that he's not going to have any issues. And I think this comes down to this. You know, the health of Tyron Smith and La'el Collins. Can those two stay healthy? And I understand Tyron, I'm not expecting to play all 17 games. I'm expecting him to miss some time. However, I am expecting him to play a majority of the games. Zach Martin, I'm fully expecting him to do his thing. You know, I'm hoping that last year was just an aberration and he can come back and he can do his thing. He's one of the best, if not the best guard in the league. In my opinion, he's the best guard in the league, but that's just me. Right tackle, you have La'el Collins. We don't know how that hip injury is going to change things from what we've seen, you know, with him working out. It looks like he's all good to go. We don't know that. And I'm not into the whole, you know, I'm not, you know, I try not to be super optimistic, but I do believe La'el Collins will be fine. You know, I think that he's not going to have any issues. And more importantly, you know, he's going to be productive. Even if he's 80 to 85% of the player he once was, if that hip injury, you know, debilitates him to being at that point, that's still a pretty damn good player, okay? Then we get to the two crucial portions, and that's center and left guard, right? From what I'm going to understand, the Cowboys are going to roll with Connor Williams at left guard and then Tyler Biadasz at center. Tyler proved last year he can definitely be the starting center, and I think he can be a quality starter on this offensive line. As for Connor Williams, he's solid, okay? You know, he was dependable last year, but the key thing is can he build up that dependability? The best ability is your availability. If he can stay there and do his part, I don't have any issues. I've already talked and gone on the record, and I still hold this position. Connor Williams is more of a tackle than he is a guard. I feel like Connor McGovern, and he proved this last year, Connor McGovern is a much better fit at guard for the Cowboys, and I feel like he would be a very damn good fit for what they're trying to do. However, if Connor Williams can improve, and I don't get the vibe of Pro Bowl he's solid starter, and I'm not asking. All I'm asking is for him to do his job. That's everybody. Just do your job, you know, and we won't have any issues. So I think this offensive line is key, and I think that they will definitely be better than last year. Just my opinion. And then as for going on over to the defense, this is the biggest question mark. How good, in terms of the talent, alongside the coaching staff, can they, you know, how can they mesh well enough to make this defense good enough to where Dallas doesn't have to score like 50 points a game just to win? And I think that, to be completely honest with you, I think that this defense, it's going to be a lot better than last year. I think that it's going to go from, like, if we're looking at it like, okay, if we're like between 25 and 32, I think this defense can get into the teens. I think I think the ceiling for this team right now would probably be the 16th, the 20th best defense in the league. And that's a massive improvement, you know, to go from like basically last to first. You can't go wrong with that. And I think that would be a massive improvement. Dan Quinn has been showing that he's very hands-on. I like that. And then we go through the positions. You know, you look at what the Cowboys did in this draft, right? And who they brought along. You know, they went heavy defense. Micah Parsons, you got a linebacker, okay? That can, if he reaches his full potential, he's going to be a monster. Kelvin Joseph, you got a guy that's going to start at corner for you. You got Osa Odigizua. I know I butchered his last name. Bear with me. Just trying to not make this a super long video. Got a guy that can be an interior rotational guy. Got Chauncey Golston. He can be a rotational guy as well. And possible starter if things don't pan out for Randy Gregory. Nahshon Wright. he's the question mark pick. I still think he was a reach given where you could have possibly gotten him. But if he ends up developing well, another quality starter possibly. And that's not saying much because, our corners are not the greatest. Jabril Cox, fantastic player. I think that he can definitely mesh well, and he should be starting, and I hope he does end up starting. I think he will end up starting. So there's that. Josh Ball, not a defensive player, and, the domestic violence thing bothers me still. But if we look at the football player-wise, he can definitely be solid, lineman material. Simi Fehoko could possibly be a future, rotational wide receiver. And what I mean by that is in the top 3. If Gallup leaves. If Gallup leaves, I think he could be the replacement, but that's not saying much. Quentin Bohanna, I'm really looking forward to see what this guy can do. Pure run stuffer. And I think that if he ends up panning out, and I'm not saying he's going to be like Pro Bowl caliber, no. I do think, though, he can definitely provide some form of, leverage when it comes to run stuffing. Israel Mukamu, I completely butchered that last name. Izzy, whatever you want to call him. Apparently the Cowboys might be experimenting with him at safety. I don't know how that's going to pan out. But if it pans out, cool. But I don't know. I mean, from what I've been seeing through, again, I don't take this as gospel. But so far, DeMonte Casey's been playing, and it looks like he's going to probably most likely be safety. I don't know what's going to happen with Keanu Neal, but that's besides the point. And then you have Matt Farnock. Again, possible backup. But the way I look at it is that the Cowboys are in a situation in which, look. And then if we go to special teams, they were, they had some interesting situations, but they were relatively decent under John Fossil. I don't want the whole, fake punts and stuff to, demean anything. I think that they played a lot better than the previous year. But I will say, we'll see what happens. I think that overall, my expectation is this is a playoff team, and I feel like the Cowboys will make the playoffs this year. But with that being said, I think that more or less does it. I wanted to open up with my expectations about the Cowboys going into this year, because as the trainings go on, and the practices, we get to see a bit more. But again, I really pay attention when we get to training camp. I could really give a damn less about OTAs, because OTAs are only whatever. So I hope you guys enjoyed. If you haven't already, make sure to hit the like and subscribe button. I'll be talking a bit more about some other stuff regarding the Cowboys, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. All right, guys, have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.